We're actually making sure this time that the microphone is working. My audio might be a little loud. I'm not entirely sure. I tried to keep it quiet enough that hopefully we're not getting a lot of feedback on the microphone, but if there's a problem, let me know. And then I'll at some point get up. Man, love this man. This is what we're doing it for. This is like the 4th week playing Castlevania Judgement, like the most niche of fighting games. And why? Because I'm in love with this one time-themed man. It's the reason I bought this game in the first place. And I felt like seeing him again, but in order to get him, unfortunately, you have to beat literally every other story mode. So I've been doing that, and I'm not good at fighting games. At least not like official fighting games. Like, sure, I've played some Brawl and stuff like that, like the baby's first fighting game sort of things, like so I can play Pikachu and stuff. But like, I'm trying to get a good thing here so I can see the chat, but also my mic is coming in good. I essentially got a whole D&D campaign inspired off of this like one cutscene. Like, not even joking. It's stupid the amount of like mileage I've gotten out of this $18 game I got off of eBay. Like, I've always told you, like, if I could cosplay one character, I'd cosplay him. Because he has such an amazing outfit. Oh boy, okay. I don't know how many story modes we have left at this point. We've done a couple of them. But I don't imagine there are much left. I've done like 7 of them. 7 or so. There's 13 total, I think. I know there's 13 time keys you need to get in order to access the final boss, but... Okay. Put that there. Hopefully, I will not whack it. I'm trying to get it to a position where I can still see the chat. But also it's close enough to my face. So we're gonna see. I'm probably gonna whack it at some point, but probably should get started. See, like every week, it's always a struggle of like, hey, will I remember how to do the controls this week? I did do the tutorials last week, so I did actually finally figure out how to use the special moves that, you know, I didn't know how to use for 4 story modes. But so I do kind of know how to do the character's moves now. Again, I wish that I had known there was a tutorial mode, because then I wouldn't have just gone in blind and button mashed. Okay, who haven't I done yet? I think the next one I have to do is him. So I'm pretty sure I've done everything else so far. Oh hey, welcome to the chat. Trying to see what your username says. Is that Tech4C? How you pronounce? It's in a very light font, so I can't really see from where I'm sitting. But I do say that you're welcome to the chat. Yeah, I'm playing this very gothic fighting game. This is the only Castlevania game I've ever played. Very well-known series, obviously, for the its influence and history on the Metroidvania genre of games, but this one has absolutely nothing to do with that, and I literally got it because I love gothic stuff in this fighting game, honestly. Goes harder than it needs to, and I think if there's any type of game that needs to do that, it's a fighting game, because fighting games you take absolutely not seriously at all, but, like, the biggest thing that, like, this game was very niche at the time, people didn't really care for it, because they're, like, all the designs are kind of very intense looking. But, like, all the characters in this game are designed by the main artist for Death Note. The manga, not the anime. So, like, these are all characters from the Castlevania series that were, like, redesigned by the person, I think it's a lady, who does, who did Death Note. And I honestly think they look awesome. But yeah, I'm trying to get my favorite character in this game, who's arguably my favorite character of, like, design in general, like... It's a character I would love to cosplay, like, literally one of those things that, like, you see him, and then you're like, I saw him in, like, the opening cutscene, and I'm like, I need to now own this game so I can look at this character. Who, unfortunately, only exists in this one game, this one spin-off game in the entirety of the franchise, which is so sad to fall in love with a character who's only in a very limited game, and he's, like, the final character to unlock, so I have to complete, like, every other story mode before I can unlock him, and that kind of sucks. But we're gonna do our best here. I think I'm missing 3 characters. So now we're gonna play with this guy who looks like a Digimon. What's your alternate outfit look like? Oh no, that's pretty cool. I don't know, I think I'm gonna go for the red. I like the black look, but the red and black one's really cool. Red and black has to be my favorite color scheme. Man, look how awesome this guy looks. Like, Aeon's got the best design in my opinion, but Cornell's a very close second. He looks really cool. Also, it's fun to play this game with, like, no context on who these characters are. So who doesn't love a spooky gothic graveyard? I also like how all the characters are just going about their lives and there's a random guy in a graveyard. It's like, hey, what's up?
Right on time. Welcome to the Time Rift.
God love.
In time? Is that why I can't return to human form?
That is correct. But this place also holds an answer you seek.
The curse of the Beastmen. Release me.
My name is Aeon. Shall we begin the first trial?
So anyone who hasn't caught up with this, it's a fighting game. It doesn't got a whole ton of story. Idea is that this guy Aeon here has trapped all these characters from... Okay, I'm trying to explain lore, dude. Give me a minute. Okay, actually, I probably should look up and see what his moves are. Okay, 3B is the neutral combo, directional combo, jumping attack, wind smash, invisible claw. Okay, so the rampage I have to do mid-air, I think. So hold down A and then press B. X. Okay, so in order to go into rampage modes, I need to hold down A, then press B. So I know that's his stronger mode. I've been kicked in the butt by this enemy before, at least. Anyway, but long story short, all these characters got stuck into some sort of weird rift in time by this guy here. And he sends them all out to essentially climb this, like, tower to fight other characters. And at the end of it, they're able to essentially gain whatever they desire. So that's why they fight. Because it's also Castlevania, and these people just kind of live for fighting or live for killing other people, so... Gotta love a good Monster Hunter game. I know this guy's good, I just can never figure out his combos. Okay, give me a second to get his thing, dude. There you go, okay. Can you give me 5 seconds to figure out this guy's combos? See, fighting he's okay if you're starting with like a ranged character, but when you're starting with a melee character... Okay, I was trying to do my power-up thing. There it is. Okay. Dodging and guarding at the same time is just rude. Your guard breaker is very slow. Okay, you are killing me, my man. Okay. Yeah, I know. I know, because you hit me while I was trying to explain the storyline. Okay, I was trying to figure out how to get his rampage mode on, because that's why I know he's most powerful. There it is, come on. Okay, can you stop dodging around me? Always a good sign when you're having trouble against the tutorial boss. To be fair, this is a character that is pretty well balanced, so it's... His biggest issue is that he has a lot of things that can break up your combos, so he is a pretty powerful character. This is actually him in his weaker form, because he won't try and use his ultimate against you, which is the worst thing about this. His ultimate is actually pretty dangerous if he manages... Okay, can you stop doing that, my dude? That's what I do when I have you actually as a playable character, and I wish you would stop doing that. Your guard breaker is so freaking slow. Come on. See, by the time I can do my guard breaker, he's already gone. Your guard breaker is slow. I know. It's the first battle of the dang story mode, and I'm dying. I swear I was better at this game last week. Love your armor, though. You look amazing, dude. Come on. The thing is that when an opponent's guarding, especially him, like, you want someone with a good guard breaker move, and his is so slow. He has nice dodge, though. That's not bad. Okay, if you could face the direction I'm pointing in, that'd be great. See, by the time I can pull off my guard breaker move, he's dodging out of the way, and I'm just like, come on, man. Your guard has to break at some point. I'm not even going to bother with the guard breaker move. I'm just going to keep hitting until I break his guard, because typically using the guard breaker move is the way better way to do it, because you get bonus damage for breaking it, but I'm like, this is getting kind of annoying. I know there's a way to grab, I just can't remember what that is. I should honestly go through the tutorial mode again, but I don't really want to do that again. There it is. Hey, I'll take a win by having barely more HP than him.
The road is now open. Search for that which you long for.
He's can be a difficult foe to fight depending on who you're fighting with, though. Just because he's not the fastest character, but he's decently fast, and he has a lot of very good dodging skills. So you don't have a good guard breaker like this guy does, then it's problematic. I'm trying to get a little cookie to eat here. Take it out of the dang bag. So we're fighting Trevor. Awesome. It would make sense I'm going to fight a lot of melee people here. Okay, got it that time.
I fight for the sake of my sister.
Oh, that's nice. Good for you, bro. Apparently he's from the Nintendo 64 game. Someone in the chat told me that last time, I think. It's the dungeon with all the stage hatters.
I will teach you to fear the bite of my lance.
I just played as him last week. He actually is a good character just because he has so much good reach with that lance. This guy isn't bad, I'm not used to the way he fights. There's a lot of charging in his things, and so I have to just kind of get the right combo. And I'm not always the best at that. Also, if you could start facing in the direction I'm actually trying to hit with, that would be also great, dude.
You pitiful fool. Did you honestly think you could win?
No, I honestly didn't, but, you know, one has to hope the button mashing will help. This doesn't show how much I love the one guy. I don't know what does. I'm not good at this game, and I'm playing every dang fighting mode in order to get him. Come on. See, I can actually land it. It's not a bad move. It's just it's hard landing the dang thing. It's got some good aerials. I'll give him that.
It is ill fortune our paths should cross here.
He does look so edgy, though. I'm loving it. Love a good red and black edgy dude. Plus, I mean, who doesn't really like a werewolf?
Those garments. Are you clergy?
That's no business of yours, beast.
You must tell me. Can your holy arts cure my affliction?
Your curse has been with us since ancient times. Nothing can be done. Death is your only salvation.
I see. But I cannot let you defeat me.
This guy also is nice because I like the fact that his voice and his way of talking is very knight-like. Like, even though, like, again, he's a werewolf, I like the fact that he's, like, one of the most polite characters in this game. Like, he's very formal and polite, and I think that's fun. Yeah, I went through Sypha's storyline, that's the one I'm playing right now, without even knowing how to do her specials, so I ultimately kind of did her on hard mode, because she's a magic character, so she's all about her specials. Love it when I can knock someone out of the ring.
Is there truly no hope I can ever be freed?
Also, I like the fact that this version of Sypha is, like, before she starts the game, so instead of being, like, you know, holy warrior and stuff like that, and really nice, like, you know, becoming a mom and everything, like, I'm fighting for, you know, the little guy, she's still kind of very holier than thou cleric, just kill the monsters sort of person.
Listen to reason from the mouth of a beast.
I'd never ever let a twisted freak like you get away.
I think we should be fine here. Maria's not too bad as long as you can keep the pressure on her. I'm trying to charge up here, dude. I really hate that fire move.
Good boy, Asuka.
That one fire move she does is a pain in the butt because you cannot even jump over it. I was trying to jump over it and she knocked me out anyway.
Learn why they call me Blue Crescent Moon.
I actually still don't know why you're called Blue Crescent Moon, and this is my second time playing through this game. But even if I didn't ring her out, I was going to kill her anyway.
It is ill fortune our paths should cross here.
Love being up children in this game. Although, if you know anything about fantasy, the kids are always the ones you have to watch out for, because the kids are always like the super powerful mage or the like godlike chosen one or something like that. It's the kids you really gotta watch out for.
The speed of a wolf.
And this is where I have to fight the zombies, isn't it? Yep. Alright, let's do this. Did you not die? Oh, no, you're a new one. You know when the zombies are most annoying is when that, like, when you're facing a boss fight here, because then you have the zombies trying to hit you while you're facing another fighter. Like, on their own, the zombies, not too bad. They're not as bad as, like, the fishmen that shoot fireballs for whatever stupid reason. But, like, the last fight I was doing against, like, Carmilla, where, like, she was, I had to fight her while being in this stupid stage, it was a serious pain in the butt. How did I manage to dodge into that? Okay. My dude, you gotta stop dodging into the thing. Okay, we got it that time.
Fight for the sake of my sister.
You look great with the red glow, though, when you have the red armor on. I say that.
What have we here? A little doggy who seems to have slipped his leash.
I did her last time, too.
A vampire. Leave me be.
Oh, are you sure? Guess you're not interested in what I heard from Death about your little problem.
What?
If you want a treat, you have to obey. So be a good doggy and play dead.
Honestly, for a fighting game, this game has better voice acting than the mainline games do. Which, that tells you how great the voice acting is in the mainline games. Come on. Okay, I got close at least. Her voice reminds me of Lisa from Genshin Impact. Yes, very similar, I would say. I mean, it could be the same lady. This game's way younger. I mean, Genshin Impact's way younger of a game, but also that is just kind of your stereotype of, like, you know, your MILFs and stuff like that, so, you know, you have just kind of the mommy character. To be fair, in Carmilla's case, she is, like, the first female vampire and also the first lesbian vampire, so, like, she's not interested in him in any way. She's just, like, girl boss, sort of femme fatale vibes. Lisa strikes me as the more motherly type. I do think a good seductive voice is definitely hard to do for, believe it or not, because it's such a well-known kind of vocal pattern that kind of like, you know, actually getting it right is difficult. Kind of like the same way, getting a young boy's voice is for a female voice actor is like, you know, there are some people who do it really good, and there's some people who do it in a way that's just like, well, I've only heard that so many times. Okay, well, that's just not fair.
I will give you the greatest of pleasures. Ah, so satisfying. And now? Not bad.
To be fair, I am doing it on the easier mode, so they don't use their ultimates usually. I'm just, I guess, lucky enough that my people are really trying to kill me.
The sun. Pathetic.
Yeah, I know. Always be fair, when you're placing a close range melee character, it is really hard to deal with the characters that are long range. Which Carmilla is definitely very long range. I did just use her in my last playthrough, so I actually know her moveset pretty well. Just the biggest thing is trying to keep in close to her, and she has a lot of very big movement range options. Okay, can you let me get one hit in? Nope. Alright. Come on. See if I can actually land all my hits in his rampage modes.
Does he hold the key?
Like, he's very powerful in his rampage modes. I just can't keep getting knocked out of it before I can kill them. Because half the time the issue is that, like, I knock them up in the air and then I go shooting past them before I can finish my combo.
To reason from the mouth of a beast.
I can figure this guy, though. He's really cool. And, of course, I gotta face Shinoa. Why do I have to face Shinoa in every dang story mode? For new people attending the stream, Shinoa is the strongest character in this game. Like, as you can see right now, she pummels my face in with, like, you know, fireballs and sword strokes. She's the strongest character by, like, a very strong margin in this game. She's fast, she has good range at both mid and long range. Even her dodge is damaging. She's very OP, and for some reason, even though I have no idea what she does in the storyline, she is in every character's story. So every single time I fight her, she just kicks my butt.
Back into darkness. That is your fate.
Like, I have nothing against the character, but for some reason, every single story mode you have to fight, like, she ends up in there somewhere. I'm like, do they just put her in there for just, like, to show off, hey, look at this really powerful character that you cannot play, but will be happy to kick your butt? The thing is that her attack strings are so fast, it's really hard to get in a strike otherwise. So you gotta, like, see, she was doing a dodge right there, and you see how fast she moves? And she's good at long range, like, she's shooting me with a bow right now, like... Okay, can you stop dodging while I'm trying to hit you? See, she kept dodging, so I didn't even get to hit her with my power moves. Now I'm stuck in her little attack string, which is a pain in the butt because it's so fast. It's very hard to get. And, like, even now while I'm trying to get out of her range, she's still powerful at short range. She's very powerful in close range. She's just a pain in the butt to deal with. And every time, even if I'm doing really good on my playthrough on any character story mode, she always kills me like 4 or 5 times. I will say, I am glad I'm at least fighting her in the Crystal Cavern, because most of the time you fight her in that Magma Pit place. And that place is way worse, because then you have to deal with fire damage too.
That is the power of our glyphs, the mighty art of Ecclesia.
So, we're gonna be here for a while.
No one will listen to reason from
Anyone wants to put any messages in the chat or any questions, I'll try and talk in between.
Come to vanquish this horrible night.
I'm gonna probably be just button mashing here for a little while. Hence why it's taking me like 6 hours so far to get so as far as I am. Stop hitting me while I'm not even on the ground yet. I really just don't like fighting this lady. And the thing is like, I've read like a story with her, like I mentioned this last stream, but like the one fanfiction that exists with Aeon has Shinoa in it. And I actually really liked it because it was like, I liked their dynamic. I thought that she had an interesting like, kind of conversation with him, essentially about like, you know, power and memories and like, you know, those with great power usually are very lonely and stuff like that. It was a great story, but like, so I don't inherently hate this character. I think I have reasons to like this character, but like, she's in every story mode and she's so hard to fight. You have to just keep up the pressure on her like without stopping, because the moment she gets a combo in on you, you're dead. Because her attack string is so fast, there's really not a whole lot of room to break it up. And even trying to hit for her from a distance is problematic, because she can still hit you from a distance with that stupid bow. See, this is the stage that Shanoa usually is on, is this fire stage, which is twice as much as a pain. Because the ground's on fire. And instead I got to fight this guy. Now, he's not as powerful as Shanoa, but he is very fast, so this could be tricky. He is not very sturdy, but he's also very fast, and he has great ranged options. I've already done his story mode. So this could take a few tries, depending on how lucky I get here. Again, the issue with this stage and the next stage that I'm going to be in next time is you're more worried about the stage hazards than you are about the fighter. Come on. I hope everyone can hear my clicking as I'm playing this on a GameCube controller. Okay, can you stop that, please? Okay, and can you face the right direction?
What do you think? Like what you see?
Now, this guy sounds like Hades from Hercules. I don't think it's the same guy, but he sounds just like whoever is the guy that does Hades from Hercules, the movie.
You will learn why they call me Blue Crescent Moon.
Ugly freak. Good thing my blades don't discriminate.
Like, I don't know why he looks the way he does, but I think he looks cool. Again, I love the fact that everyone looks like Digimon here. If you could stop dodging while I'm doing this, that'd be great, bro. Again, yeah. This guy's an issue, not because he's necessarily hard to damage. It's more that he has a lot of movement. All of his attacks have a lot of upward momentum and a lot of sideways momentum, so my bigger issue is I keep shooting past him when I'm using my attacks. Not necessarily I'm having issues damaging him, it's just like I keep shooting past him when he jumps over me. So, that's problematic. But even then, I still don't find him as nearly as annoying as fighting Shanoa. If you could stop that, please, I would appreciate it. And I got killed by the lava.
Your kind make me sick. You get no mercy.
We're gonna be here for a little bit. This guy is actually powerful if you know how to use him. I'm just not nailing it.
Think you can match the speed of a wolf?
You ain't seen one quick as me before.
We're gonna cycle through all these characters' voice lines at this point.
Ready?
Okay, can you stop that, please? Your guard breaker is the worst. It is so freaking slow people can combo on me.
Accept your fate.
He does have a really awesome ultimate, though, I have to acknowledge. Love the 1,000 knife blade thing.
It's done.
I appreciate that it wasn't hitting me, but you do have a cool ultimate, I'll give you that much. Yeah, that's cool. I'm still gonna lose, but that was a cool ultimate. I at least looked cool while I was doing it.
Moss I see growing on you?
No one will listen to reason from the mouth of a beast.
Right. You ready to see my specialty?
This guy also looks like someone who'd probably be in a Fire Emblem game, to be honest. Like the way the assassins were redesigned for Fire Emblem Awakening. I'm not sure if my sister's watching this or not, but if she is, she knows what I'm talking about. Some characters, once they start a combo on you, you really just can't get out of it. That time I ran into the lava.
So slow. That moss I see growing on you?
Kind of like Shinoa, he can be difficult just because, like, if he gets you in a long-range combo, it's really hard to get out of it.
From the mouth of a beast.
Right. You ready to see my specialty? Let in.
I also do like kind of like the fact that he has kind of like the leaning over posture. It's very assassin-like.
Your kind make me sick.
Anyway, anyone's read any good books lately?
You can match this.
Good in movies, maybe? Anything entertaining more than this, I'm sure. I imagine the reason I don't get a lot of viewers on the nights I do video games is just because lately I've been playing one I'm not very good at. Maybe that was if I went back to playing Pokemon, I'd get more people to come in and stop by. I don't know, but maybe some people find enjoyment in watching someone do that. It's self-mutilating torture, I guess. I'll do this for my dude. When I actually feel like I know what I'm doing, like, if I actually can figure out the character's moveset, it's not too bad. Like, I actually was doing okay with Carmilla last time because I did kind of get the vibe for what, you know, I need to do for her moveset. I can't quite figure this guy out. Come on. I was close that time. I was actually close that time.
Sick. You get no mercy.
Yeah, I know. This guy has an impressive chest when you think about it. Like, just the way... You gotta love Wii era graphics. Me and Melanie talked about this one time when we were playing Knight's Journey of Dreams. Man, the Wii era graphics just gotta love from how, like, blockular they are. Like, there's something about old graphics that's just oddly endearing because of, I guess, how geometric it is. Like, I love me some good high-def graphics. I was just playing Star Rail with my sister yesterday. I finally got her to start playing the game, so we've been kind of playing it together in our off time. But, like, okay, that is uncalled for. why I can barely hold a conversation when I'm in a bad boss fight, because then I'm just like, oh, and look, I'm getting hit by 101 knives. I bet that's entertaining. Anyway, me and my sister were playing Star Rail the other day because I finally got her into to play that, and like, it's amazing how like at this point, like in-game cutscenes versus out-of-game cutscenes, like, you know, cutscenes that are just during dialogue, are so close in quality nowadays. Like, you can hardly even tell sometimes. That's kind of cool. The fact that, you know, like, you know, you look at like the opening cutscene for this game, then the in-game cutscenes are obviously a very different quality, and but you know, at the same time, I also do just kind of like the older graphics look. And, you know, not like necessarily PS2 era graphics, but like here where we had like the Wii, where we're like at the PS3, Wii. Okay, can you stop doing that, please? Okay, dodge. Please dodge. How did whatever. Alright, well, I'm gonna take a moment to eat my snack then, as long as he's killing me.
Accept your fate.
It's done. You can't make me sick.
Again, this guy's not harder than Shinoa. I'm just on the stage that is a pain in the butt to fight on because there's a lot of hazards. Typically, you fight Shinoa on this stage, but that's why it really sucks to fight her half the time.
You will learn why they call me Blue Crescent Moon.
Right. You ready to see my specialty?
It's kind of weird that his alternate costume is blue, considering his whole Blue Crescent Moon thing, apparently. Yeah, this is going great so far. I've done, like, no damage to the guy. He's just juggling me around. Loving that. This is going to take a while, I'm sure. I love it when, like, the fact, like, in the whole first hour will probably just be me in one story mode. That's ultimately a series of, like, 6 fights, and I'll manage to take an hour and a half to do it. Like, I don't know how I beat this game the first time in 5 hours, because already I'm at like 5.5 hours, and I haven't even gone through half the story modes. Nice to know stack time is included when playing games. Well, when you're getting your butt kicked, then yeah. Either if you're really good or really bad in a game, then that's when you get snack time. When you're at the point where you're like, well, no use fighting at this point, I'm going to die anyway. Or you're at the point where I'm like, I'm on auto battle, I have a moment to snack. Come on, come on. You can do it. It's a pity that I'm not good at these melee characters because this guy is really cool. How did you catch me in that again?
I'm done playing around. Accept your fate. It's done. You can't make me sick. You get no mercy.
Everyone else having fun?
Match the speed of a wolf.
Right. You ready to see my specialty?
Ready?
Also, can we just say how, like, who's even started the trope of, like, the whole, like, fight thing in a fighting game? Like, anyone who's ever seen, like, Death Battle, like, you know, like, they used to have that as an opening thing, and then they stopped doing it after a while, and I always was a little disappointed when they did that, but I used to watch Death Battle a lot, because I'm an analysis person. Like, I'm someone who can, like, I was, the other day when I was crocheting, I was analyzing movies. I'm, like, it comes with all the tisms, but, like, I'm big on analyzing things because it's kind of my way of, like, understanding the world is that I cannot understand people and planning and schedules and, like, you know, emotions and relationships and stuff, but gosh dang it, I can analyze the heck out of the meaning behind, like, a bird in a movie. So, like, when it comes to, like, you know, movie data, game data, I like to, like, absorb that sort of stuff like a sponge. So, like, it is always interesting to see, like, you know, analyzing little things like little details and stuff in a different game. So I do kind of like when I can go and, like, you know, play a game where I can actually go and analyze the characters and look at things and be like, I'm looking at all these stuff, like, the amount of stuff I figured out in the third world of Star Rail, like, blows my mind sometimes. Like, I'll just stop and, like, think about cuts and be like, I realized there was a new fact in there. And then I remember, like, oh yes, and I have no one else who's played this game, so I can't even tell them this cool fact I found. But I do like, playing niche games when I can, because I like giving chances to the games that, like, no one else notices, because anyone can play Valorant, anyone can play Fortnite, and I don't, as much as I know you need skills for stuff like that, it's certainly something I don't think you're going to, like, go and be like, hey, there's this cool detail that I bet you didn't even notice is in here. Like, I got some interesting details about Aeon if I ever get to him. Like, there's some pretty cool things about his design. But, like, can you please stop, dude? Okay, come on. It's like, as soon as he gets distance from me is usually when I get screwed, because I cannot do anything from a distance with this guy. Or at least, even his distance move doesn't go travel really far. Okay, I actually landed it this time. He didn't block me in the middle of it. But, like, I like playing those sort of things and going to be like, hey, this is something you might not have recognized or noticed because it's not the most powerful thing, like, it's not the most, like, that is really cool. It's not the most popular game out. Like, I essentially try and give a little love to the series that people don't notice as much, because someone's got to do that. And granted, there's, like, you know, I still do love a lot of, okay, come on. I just need to land, like, one more hit. And I died anyway. Gosh, I hate you right now.
What do you think? Did you see?
And then so I like to kind of look at things and be, you know, like last time, essentially, where someone was asking me for, like, details on the live-action movies, and, like, I can remember a lot of details, I can make a lot of comparisons to things, like, I almost wish I could just get a degree in, like, video gameology, like, the amount of things that I notice about, like, fandom cultures, the things I notice about, like, how people change over time, the psychology of, you know, why you play certain video games. If anyone's interested in psychology of video games, Daryl Plays Games, or, like, now called Psych to Play, I believe it's called. It's one or the other. He had one of those names first, then he changed it. But he does, like, on the psychology of video games and, like, why we play them and why certain things draw in certain people. Like, he has this one I can't wait to watch that's about, like, you know, have you ever fallen in love with a video game character? Why are we drawn to things like Otome games? You know, and he looks at these, like, psychological studies. Great channel. Love it to death. I used to watch with my mom a lot. We were just a little bit too busy this last, like, ever since, like, last fall. We've just been so freaking busy that we've just not been able to find the time to do it. Finally! But, like, he does some really interesting, like, psychological videos and stuff like that. And I'm like, I feel like I could do videos like that if I had time to do it, but, like, I have to go and edit footage and usually have a script in order to make myself I don't ramble.
What do you know of this curse?
With the dark arts we command, your affliction can be remedied.
Truly? You swear it?
What would I gain with a lie? Now, come with me.
I trust what you say of the curse, but I do not trust you. I will find the way on my own.
Ready?
Yep, so now I'm fighting Death. You know, casual. The funny thing is that Death's not even the most powerful force in this, like, the world of Castlevania. Like, he works for Dracula. Who, you know, is, like, essentially the vessel of, like, the dark dimension. You know, the whole idea that, like, you know, is in this world is, like, you know, if there's pure good, there has to be pure evil to balance it. So, like, you know, for all the good in the world, there has to be one, like, agent of total evil, and that's Dracula, which is why that, like, no matter how many times whatever force of good takes him down, he's usually back in 100 years, because He's literally like the MC of like darkness and evil itself. So that's why like he has like, again, death as a henchman. Like literally death as a henchman. That tells you how powerful Dracula is.
End this torment.
So he figured out he can't get out of his curse. Good for you, dude. See, that one was infinitely easier because I didn't have to worry about long-range attacks. This guy's... Okay, we got... How many more?
I accept the soul key.
4 more?
4 yet remain.
We're getting there. We're gonna get you, dude, somehow. How many more characters do I have? Yeah, I'm like, I know there's Trevor. And then I think... I know I have to get Dracula. And I think I have Death. Should be everyone, I think. Trevor plays pretty similar to Simon, if I'm correct, so hopefully he won't be too hard. They're a little bit better, because they at least have good spread moves, because their whips have, like, you know, circular motion, so... Hopefully he'll be better. Let's see what you got for the alternate outfit. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. I like that. Like, as much as I love the whole, like, you know, like, leather, you know, barbarian look on this one, I kind of like the fact this blue looks kind of like armor. Let's go with this one.
You will regret challenging me.
It's funny seeing him here, because I know, like, the only other, like, reference I have to Castlevania is the anime show. The animation they have on Netflix. It's an anime, kind of, but...
Right on time. Welcome to the Time Rift.
A rift in time? Explain what you mean.
This is where you'll find what you desire. But first, there are many trials you must pass.
A test? Intriguing.
My name is Aeon. Shall we begin the first trial?
Hey, Nixie, what's up? We're gonna see in a minute if depending on how much I get my butt kid in this boss. Okay, his guard break is much faster, so that is helpful. I think we're gonna do fine with Trevor. My biggest issue was that with, Cornell, his guard break is really slow, so it's, like, the biggest way to get hits in, especially, like, you know, in this case, is, like, is guard breaking.
That is the power men feared.
Nice. Good job, bro.
The road is now open. Search for that which you long
So I was just struggling a lot more with Cornell's story mode, because he does not have a guard break move that... His is so slow, I kept getting hit by people's ultimates for crying out loud. So, like, I know he can be good, I just did not know how to use him properly. But,
You will witness the
I think I'm gonna do way better with Trevor, because his guard break is much faster.
Witness the might of the Alucard spear.
Also, he has some good, like, spread moves, so I think we're gonna be fine with him. I love being up children. But, especially when they have giant angel, like, wing lances. Okay. How did I flip over him that time? Okay, got him that time.
Without total concentration, total devotion, you cannot.
I also like that, like, you know, these different Castlevania characters are from different points in their own timeline. So, like, in the case of, like, Sypha, she's the one who's taken before the game starts, so she's still kind of a bit pretentious. But, like, Trevor's taken from long after his game ends, so he's already being Dracula. He's already kind of hit the top, like, he's already kind of master where he is. Same thing for Alucard. Alucard's also at, like, the peak of, like, his experience, because he's, like, already lived for thousands of years at that point, as opposed to, like, you know, if you take him at the beginning of his game, he's like, you know, a lot less experienced, because he's still kind of figuring out the, you know, balance between the whole human-vampire thing going on. Also, can we just talk about his monsters, that, like, it's way better to be a Dampier than it is to be a vampire? Like, people talk about being vampires, but, like, you want to be a Dampier, because they don't have, like, any of the, like, weaknesses vampires do.
What has happened to you? Your skills have dulled.
Because, like, vampires have, like, the weaknesses to holy weapons, weaknesses to sunlight, sometimes even...
Are you of House Belmont?
Simon, I'm guessing.
I am Simon Belmont.
That whip. You can't be. Trevor, yes. Time rift, eh? Fascinating.
I have always dreamed of challenging you.
He's his descendant, in case you can't get that.
Let's see what you can do.
He's like his great-grandson, essentially. 3 generations later. Even though, ironically enough, Simon is the protagonist from the first Castlevania game. Trevor's actually from the third Castlevania games, but because they do essentially the prequel-sequel thing, Trevor's the one who comes first. Which I always think is interesting when they do that. Also, people are talking about, like, Simon's design looks a lot like the main character in Death Note. I've never read or watched Death Note, so I can't speak to that, but, you know, I think he looks fine. It's funny that also people are like look at him first and be like, this design is ridiculous. I'm like, did you see the design he was in right before this game? Like, he actually doesn't, the biggest difference is he doesn't have as many, like, belts on him, but, like, he was already kind of in this more edgy category in the game before this. I prefer him with the red hair over the blonde hair, honestly. Because we got too many blonde hair characters, let's be honest.
My plan will not falter.
Behold my gift.
And there's Shanoa.
Guard of Ecclesia.
Of course. This hopefully shouldn't take too long, because we're not on a stage with bad hazards. She's usually a pain in the butt when I'm, like, stuck with other hazards. Okay. Yeah, Shanoa, you really gotta keep the pressure on her so she can't build up combos.
Concentration, total devotion.
Trevor's doing great for me, though. I'm loving this. And there's the bot, as usual, telling us about our cheap viewers that we can get. Love that. That means I'm doing better as, like, you know, I'm actually getting some activity in my chat if I manage to get the chat bot, so... Good job, everyone, for chatting.
Who may challenge? My
You made the chat bot, show up. Melon, you wanna say hi?
Hi. I took a shower and now I'm gonna go have some dinner.
Malon's cameoing. One day she will join us again. We're thinking maybe in the summer. Would be nice. Because believe it or not, the reason it's called Cozy Gamers was because originally this was a channel for me and her to do together. And just, like, fall was so crazy that we just could not. And I don't, you know, it just... We fell so far off the, like, the... yeah, hi, bye. We fell so far off the wagon in fall. Non's doing her best just to survive right now, but... The idea, for the reason there's plural in our name, is that the idea is, like, eventually we will get back to the point where the both of us play games together. Hopefully.
Ah, a familiar face. It's been many moons. Or are we yet to meet?
Many moons indeed. I awoke 300 years after we parted.
In our last skirmish, you spared me your full strength. This time, I ask you hold nothing back.
Very well.
In the name of our old friendship, then.
I'm liking the fact that Trevor's is like story mode is like some of them are like, I'm trying to find the meaning of life. I'm trying to find the meaning of my curse. Trevor's just kind of having fun with it. He's like, I get to fight all my friends again. Because for those who have, you know, I don't know a ton about Castlevania, but I do know from the show, like the first essentially trio who defeat Dracula are Alucard, Sypha, and Trevor and Grant. If I remember correctly. But, so, like, they're all, like, good friends. Obviously Alucard's immortal, so, like, you know, he's not, he outlives everyone else. And then, you know, sometimes, but he kind of just keeps an eye on things.
I fear time has dulled your skills.
Well, to be fair, I got shot by the laser at least twice. Love your epic cape, though. Nothing better than a good cape. But anyway, so like I was saying about with Dampiers, now that we're actually facing Alucard, that reminds me. See, there's just a random statue in the background that's just shooting lasers. I do like the fact that his dodge is the same as Dracula's, because, you know, like, that's his dad. But always gotta love the characters that have, like, the very, like, tragic backstories. Which is all relative in this particular universe. It's kind of like, you have a normal life? Wow, how did you do that? Can I get one of those? Okay. Like, do not ring me out. That would be... Like, yeah, kill me with dignity. Don't throw me out of the ring, at least. But anyway, so can we talk about, like, Dampiers for a moment here? I was looking at this in, like, D&D and stuff like that, but I'm like, they are significantly, like... The biggest difference is that you can't have the full powers of a vampire, so it usually means that you don't have, like, all the powers a vampire does, or maybe you don't have, like, the same limitless power that they have, like, magically. But, like, you have, like, the super speed, you have the immortality, you have, like, you know, usually some degree of the magic skills, you have, you know, essentially all the abilities that normal vampires have, but you can actually go out in the sun, you can, like, you're not bothered by holy weapons, you know, like... It's definitely the better deal, if you ask me. Like, full vampires have a lot more weaknesses to deal with. While becoming half-human is not a thing that usually, like, badly afflicts a Dampier in any way. It's like, you're not getting any negative traits from the human side. If anything, you're getting just lesser vampire traits, but, like, you get a lot of pros, too. Namely, just the not burning in the sunlight thing. I mean, to be fair, I mean, these are also immortal creatures, so they do find other ways to, you know, manage, but, like, you think more of them would try to get with humans just because you get pretty strong offspring. Man, can I also be talking about, like, the animation, like, how much it makes you, like, actually, like, Dracula's straight up, like, you know, usually just a force of evil, like, you know, kind of like old Disney villains where, like, this is something that is literally just, I could not see around the camera there. That's a force of evil, like, villain. But, like... I do need to start paying attention, because this is why I keep dying. I'm not paying attention enough. Okay, facing the other direction, dude. I hit the stick instead of the regular stick. You dodge with a C-stick for some reason, and that's just the weirdest thing ever. Like, you think you would have to dodge on, like, another directional button or something? This isn't actually hard, I'm just not paying attention. I'm trying to talk about vampires at the same time, because I like talking about vampires. If I was paying attention, I'd be fine. See, when I'm actually focusing, he's not hard. I just...
Empty victory. It is your father I am truly after.
Yeah. Not necessarily hard, I just wasn't paying attention because I was trying to talk at the same time. Multitasking is a myth, after all. You can rapidly switch between two things, but truly focus on two things at once is like, impossible. We face him now.
Fighting bad, but now must fight.
I did his story mode. His was actually kind of interesting. Again, the harder thing about this stage is usually not the enemy, it's the stage itself. Wow, that guy groaned for a while. Really in pain, I guess. This stage is only selectively problematic.
Any who dare oppose Lord Dracula earn my wrath.
People point to her as kind of a crazy outfit, but I'm like, no, honestly, for the character she is, like, no, it really makes sense. Like, the only time, like, outfits like these don't make sense is if it's a character who is not, like, heavily sexualized. Like, if it's a character whose whole thing is being a dominatrix, essentially, then no, this outfit makes a ton of sense for her. It's only the issue if you have a character like, you know, that's like a little girl or someone who's like a scholar or something. Like you were mentioning before that like she sounds like Lisa. I'm like, well, yeah, this outfit wouldn't look right on Lisa because Lisa's supposed to be a librarian. And I need to start paying attention because I'm going to fall off the thing. Okay, let's see. That's true, I have to multitask with 2 hands one times and lead some mistakes. Yeah. Okay, let me try and focus here. I do think I like his movesets a little bit better than Simon's. I only struggled with Simon because I did not realize how to do the specials until like 4 characters in. It's also probably why I struggled so much with Sypha too, was that I was like, I just did not realize how to use the special moves. Which meant I was pretty much just using the basic moves over and over again, which is not the most efficient way to play a fighting game.
Creatures of darkness must fall. Sypha? You're so young.
Who are you? Why do you know my name?
This should make it clear. Care to test the power of a true vampire hunter?
So they get married later on.
A Belmont? I've been waiting for this.
So he's just like...
Confess wondering what this would be like. Show me what a hunter of the church can do.
Because they are allies and they do eventually get married. But he's just like, you know, 20 years ahead of her in terms of the timeline. That's also the thing, like, if you're going to use a situation like a time rift, that's the thing that, like, some people didn't like about this game was that they, like, not all the characters are, like, what they look like in their base game. So I'm like, no. I'm like, I like the fact they have some adults, they have some kids. Because if you're in a time rift, you can grab a character from literally any point in history. Why not grab them somewhere you normally can't? Like, if the character normally appears as an adult in the main game, then why not take the opportunity to go and, you know... I ran right into that attack. Why not take the... Why not take the opportunity to go and take people from different time periods? You know, like take some people like, if this character's normally a adult, then have them as a child. This character's normally like a young show-off, show them as a seasoned veteran. You know, like, I think when you have time, power, like, the problem is, and I see this a lot in fan fiction, honestly, when you have a character that has time abilities, people never really think about what you could do with that, like, thematically. They usually are just using it to, like, rewrite an event, so they'll do, like, for instance, this character A and character B are enemies now, but they were actually But I want them to be, like, in a romantic relationship. So I'll use this time travel character to go back in time to before they were enemies so I can have these two characters be together. Sure, I guess that's cool, but, like, that's not really an interesting thing to use a time-based thing like that. Like, honestly, I think it's kind of cool that they did it in this case. Like, you know, I haven't really seen that done in a fighting game. Like, anyone does it where, like, you came from a different dimension, you came from a different space-time. But, like, how many have you seen it where you take characters from different points in time? So, like, you know, people like Trevor and Alucard, they're much further ahead in their timeline than the other people are. Like, in this case, Trevor's way ahead of Sypha, even though the two of them end up married and, you know, die in each other's arms and whatever.
If only that held true in our household.
But, like, you know, like, some of the other characters aren't at their hero state, like Maria and, Eric, like, they're way younger, so they haven't gotten to the point yet where they can, like... Oh, that was his last boss?
I accept the soul key.
Nice.
Only 3 remain.
3 more. Alright. Let's see who we have next. I think we have... Yeah. I'm pretty sure Death's next. Cool, let's go play as Death. Can we also just say how interesting it is how, like, in Death is differently interpreted in different... In Shinoa, cool. In the different story modes. So we got 2 more to do here. Never thought of it that way. Yeah. I feel like you're blazing through the matches now. That's what I'm telling you. I'm okay. Like, after I did the tutorial, I was better at it, but the problem is I have to have a character who I can do better. Like, if I can't manage to figure out the character's moveset, then I really struggle, like I was with Cornell's, is that I just could not figure out how to get his combos to work. But, like, if I can, then I'm fine. But, like, if I can't figure out how to get their combos to work, then I struggle. But if I'm, like, someone with, like, Trevor, where I can figure out how to do his combos and, you know, everything, then I'm cool. I kind of like this design for Death. Some people are like, you know, he should have been, like, in a dark black cloak. But I'm like, honestly, everyone does that. I kind of like this, is it, like, say, my favorite design for, like, a death-based character? No. But I'm like, I like the fact that it doesn't look like every death-based character I've ever seen. What you have for an alt? Yeah, that just kind of looks weird. Let's stay with the white. I was hoping it was going to be black.
Who is foolish enough to challenge me?
That's also the funny thing. Imagine your Death, you're just going around killing people and just some random guy in white just grabs you and says, hey, you want to go do some trials in this time rift? Like, Dracula's master over death. That tells you how powerful Dracula is. Yeah, like, he's just going around killing people, and then this other guy comes up to him and be like, hey, guess what? You're in a time rift now. And he's like, what the heck? I'm supposed to be killing humans. How did I get stuck by one?
Right on time. Welcome to the time rift.
Wanderer of time. Is this age on the verge of collapse?
Ah, you see much. We need the soul keys, gained by passing a series of trials.
It serves the Master's purpose. I will do whatever is required.
My name is Aeon. Shall we begin the first trial?
Although it's never exactly confirmed whether Aeon's human or not. At the very least, he appears human here, but, like, we don't actually know. Well, this guy's got some nice reach. That's nice. Got a nice dodge. That's good. Okay. Does you have a good guard break? Okay, that's a nice one. You kind of just like... Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, man. That's actually really awesome. Look, he, like, just yanks it through his chest. Aeon's still my favorite, but I gotta admit, Death has some cool moves. He got a little hook hand, like, come on.
road is now open.
I'm gonna have some fun with this guy.
That which you long for.
Because of course they have all the strongest characters at the end.
All who stand against the master will perish.
Creature of the night, you will not escape the grasp of my whip. Ready? Fight! I'll take that.
Like, you see how he just pulls his scythe through the guy's chest? That's his that's his guard break move. That is so like just intense, and I love it. It, like, he just like yanks it through his chest. That is. I'm sorry. That's just so cool. I love that.
Oh, I can't believe it.
I'm liking this character. He's fun.
If you wish for death, here I am.
Fight me as you would a grown man. I do not want your mercy.
Yeah, this just feels sad.
Ready?
Like, look at the height difference on these characters. It's like the tallest character against like the smallest character. Never tell how far the range is on these ultimates, so I never know how long it will take to, like, how much room I have to activate one. So if they land, it's always by pure coincidence. Okay, I keep getting stuck on the crystals. I can't see where I am.
You pitiful fool. Did you honestly think you could win?
Well, if the camera hadn't kept jerking around, I would have been able to see you better. That is the one disadvantage here. This guy's so short, it's kind of hard to see him around these obstacles. So I can't tell if I'm hitting him.
Grown man. I do not want your mercy.
Like, apparently this guy in his actual game is, like, you know, an adult. So, like, in this game, he's a kid. Which, you know, at least does give you some difference in, like, playstyles. Because you got, like, this tiny kid who looks like he's out of Black Butler, you know, with a giant lance. I've been debating on watching that show. Because it's something I've always been minorly, at least, intrigued by. Because, again, I really like gothic stuff. So I'm, like, wondering if I should, like... Only just because I've been seeing it show up in the news lately a lot. Like, apparently it was on hiatus for, like, 5 years or something like that, and then, like, last year it got a new season, and this year it's just announced another season, so I'm like, I thought the show was, like, not, like, finished or something like that, and then I'm like, oh no, it's actually just been on hiatus for an extended period of time, now all of a sudden it's active again, and I'm like, well, does that necessarily mean maybe it might not be a bad idea to try and watch the show?
Honestly think you could win?
It ran into the problem apparently a lot of animes do, where it started the anime, started the manga. The anime got way ahead of the manga, so then they had to, like, do random filler junk in the middle. And then, like, you know, try and get the two of them to line up. There's, like, a really great gif for how this, like, works, where, like, you know, you either have it where, like, the manga outpaces the anime, and the anime, you know, just has to try and catch up, or the anime outpaces the manga and goes in kind of like an alternate timeline, or the two of them are just kind of going back and forth, and there's just big breaks in between it. And, like, I don't even watch anime, but I definitely certainly know a lot about it. This is what I'm talking about with being, like, the whole analytical nature thing, is, like, I absorb a lot of information through, like, osmosis, so, like, I'll just note things, even if I'm, like, so, like, I have enough information to, like, you know, have conversations with people about anime. Like, I could have a conversation with someone vaguely, at least, about, like, most video games or anime and stuff like that, but I don't actually watch it, so it's not like I can go be like, I can recommend a thing, or I can say, like, I like this one. I'm like, no, I have enough to maintain conversation with, and I've watched many videos on, like, some really good animations, so, like, I know that much. Okay, could you stop doing that?
Your fate is sealed. Too late for regrets. Gates of hell are open.
This feels worse to do it to a kid. This almost feels worse to do to a child. Just because this one actually, you know, looks like a child. Let me spear you.
Ask as often as you will, but I will never serve Dracula.
I didn't come to ask. I came to destroy you.
Huh. You won't find it such a simple task.
With your dying breath, you will regret ever defying us.
Ready?
See, I know Cornell can be good, because whenever I face him as an enemy, he's usually, like, not bad. I just did not know how to use him myself, so I was really struggling playing with him. Because I just could not figure out how to get him work for me. So, like, I was definitely struggling with him. Okay. Be fair, I lost track of where my character was for a minute there, so I thought I was somewhere else, and I'm like, wait, I'm in a corner. Let's try that again. I thought, I'm like, he didn't kill me, right? I also like the death being, you know, like, a god that governs time is aware of, like, how this place works, because he's dealing with another being that's very powerful, so it's like, he's like, yeah, I know we're in a weird place, and I know it takes a lot of power in order to stop time, so I'm not going to try and fight this guy. I'm just going to do whatever I need to do, you know? I actually also read an interesting fanfic that was kind of, again, about death in this particular game, but just the idea, like, out of all the characters, like, besides maybe Dracula, like, he's the only one who's not surprised to be found in the Time Rift. He's more just kind of like, okay, yeah, I get it. There's something weird going on here. Like, I like the fact that he points out the fact that, like, if I'm here, that means that Time's in some serious trouble. So, and he's like, and Anne's just like, yep, you're correct. You want to help me fix it? But, like, I don't remember if Dracula is aware of it or not, but, like, I like the fact that, like, Death being, you know, like, the immortal god is, like, aware that, like, oh, hey, if the rules of time are getting broken, then that means things are getting bad. And he's like, in order for me to keep doing my job, time needs to keep moving, so, best play along. Oh, reminds me of the puppet in a little bit from FNAF. The long, lanky limbs. I obviously have to be careful not to get, you know, the zombies explode when they die, so I have to make sure I don't get poisoned when they die. Oh, I hate these ones. Yeah, I like this guy.
That is the destiny of my clan, nor will I allow you escape.
Why would I seek escape? This is what I want.
You believe you can defeat me?
Well, we did defeat your grandpa earlier.
Hear the power of the undying.
Ready? Fight! Good. Good.
I like looking back on it. Simon's story probably wouldn't be a third as frustrating as it was for me if I actually had known how to do any of his special moves, because he actually is a pretty like all-around character. I just was not using him right. Like him, Alucard, Sypha, I'd like almost want to do those story modes again because I'm like, whoops. I accidentally fought them with like no strength. Also, notice how as soon as I started talking, I started dying.
The might of the vampire killer.
But, I like the, I probably could have done those with so much less pain and stress that I had actually known how to do the special moves.
Ready?
Okay, that takes care of that.
Dare challenge me? You forget your place.
Do you honestly believe you can defeat me?
These two are technically co-workers, because they both work for Dracula. Gotta say, I love the music in these stages. They're such, like, this was, it kind of reminds me of, like, my favorite thing about, like, Fire Emblem Warriors was, like, it had some really good, like, you know, like, tracks, like, that were, like, remixes of normal music. Like, it's really cool when you have, like, older 8-bit music or, like, you know, classical music and you add, like, a rock theme to it, which is something I really like. Okay, I'm trying to dodge around that laser, but I really like when you kind of add that sort of thing. So the music in this game is, that's one thing that, like, even people who absolutely hate this game have to agree on. The music in this game is honestly amazing. I know I need to be paying more attention and she'll stop kicking me in the face. That time I got hit by the laser. I'm probably just gonna die on this one.
Don't worry, you'll come to enjoy this.
Okay, let's try this again.
You, always at Dracula's side. That's my place.
Ready?
Biggest thing that makes Carmilla difficult is that once she gets an aerial combo off, she's kind of hard to stop. That's actually why I enjoyed playing her a lot when I was in her story mode, is that she is...
Has the stamina to face me.
Yeah, I love the implications of that line. But she is fun to play with because she does get some really nice aerial combos. So I did enjoy playing with her. The biggest thing is that I'm like... She's just a little tricky to fight because she has a tendency to just jump over your attacks, so that does present some issues. So once she gets you kind of combo, it's kind of hard to break out of.
Your sweet cries of agony give me goosebumps.
And to be fair, the further on you get in the story mode, the harder their difficulty grows, so...
Dare challenge me? You forget your place.
I will enjoy your cries of agony.
Ready?
Your fate is sealed. Too late for regrets. Gates of hell are open. I'll swallow your soul.
KO.
I decide who lives and who dies. You could not expect to win.
I know, right? They have good jiggle physics in this game. Hey, but it is realistic for, like, the fact that she has, like, no support and they're very large. They would move around that much. Malin can tell you.
I shall fight you in the name of all my oppressed sisters.
Ready?
Now, the only reason this stage might get annoying is because this is the one where the zombies come after you, which is can be a pain in the butt. Because then when you're trying to fight the opponent, you have something else trying to hit you in the back. Well, I got close there. Definitely due to animation, yeah. I wouldn't say so, though, necessarily, to be fair. I mean, all these designs were done by a woman, so... I think that's more just, you know, that's the style, but... I only have an issue with it when it, like, it's unrealistic.
If you wish to see the power of the elements, it would be my pleasure.
But, like... Also, it's a fighting game. Have you seen Street Fighter? Like, if there's any place to have the... You have to have precise jiggle physics. It's in a fighting game. Remember me and Malin one time wanted to do it just for the sake of, like, you know, comparison. Have, like, you know, her do a bunch of, like, classic fighter game poses in, like, a green screen and different outfits to see exactly, like, what realistic, like, anatomy would look like. Never did it, but we did think about it.
To truly change our world, I must grow stronger still.
Hey, and just to say, you know, just because it's a woman who did all the designs doesn't mean she doesn't like having large boobs on her characters.
Your end is nigh.
And again, it's a fighting game. Everything has to be bigger and better, and, I mean, to be fair, like, 3/4 of the guys are wearing barely what constitutes as a shirt. So, you know, like, this person's just, like, I kind of respect that because they're like, yep, we're sexualizing everyone. The guys are barely wearing shirts, the girls have big boobs, you know, like, hey, that's equality. And that's also kind of why I kind of like this game, is that I'm like, it's going so hard for, like, no reason whatsoever. Like, this is such a tiny little niche game that, like, barely anyone played. It's just going so much harder than it needs to go, though. Like, with the designs are so, like, over the top, with the music sounding great, the stages are honestly really cool. Like, this game is doing way more than it theoretically needs to, and I think that's just so funny.
Foul creature of darkness, your end is nigh.
I mean, we were just playing with, like, Simon and Trevor. Like, they're literally covered in, like, vests that are, like, composed of belts. And, like, Trevor at least has pants on, but, like, Simon's in shorts. Like, there is, like, so much skin on display there. And then, like, Grant's covered in bandages. I think the closest to being fully dressed is, like, Alucard. And that's just because he's the kind that would not probably show off a lot of skin anyway. Although he did in the animation. So, you know.
Were it not for fiends like you, I could be free of my torment.
You want to see him without a shirt on, he has a whole fight scene with the shirt off in the first season.
If you wish to see the power of the elements, it would be my pleasure.
Ready?
The biggest thing is these zombies keep, you know, I have to be aware of where they are at any given time because they can hit me and knock me out of my combos. Okay, I'm hitting her, and then I got hit by the zombies, who are now both wailing on me as I'm trying to hit her. I'm getting juggled around between these. That's why this stage is a pain in the butt fighting on the later levels, because of these stupid zombies. Because then it's really hard to, like, you know, you essentially have to guard from the front and the back at all times. So I can't go in a straight line because I have to deal with those zombies keep hitting me in the back. But even then, still, this is, like, character has been way better than any of the other characters so far. I would much rather struggle in the later stages than be like where I was with the other ones and being like, cool, I'm fighting Aeon, the very first boss, and I can't even get past him. I feel more frustrated when I am fighting a character and being like, wow, I am not doing this. Like, if I'm almost dying on the last one, that's fine, because it's the last one. I even know if Sypha is the last one, honestly. She might be. See, I got killed by the zombie that time.
All power pales next to the
I get juggled. Yep, I am getting juggled. Hey DJ, thanks for showing up. Welcome to me being bad at fighting games. No. This is a Wii game that is done with motion controllers that I just happen to have a GameCube controller for. I'm dodging with the C stick.
If you wish to see the power of the elements, it would be my pleasure.
And actually, believe it or not, before you showed up, I was actually kind of clearing through these fights pretty quickly. Just now I'm at the, like, I'm pretty sure the last one, so I'm struggling a little bit more. Also, it's more of the stage hazards that are a pain in the butt in this stage, because I have to deal with these zombies in addition to her. And the zombies, when they explode, become poisonous. So, like that time, I got whacked in the face with a zombie. She didn't even hit me.
Fiends like you, I could be free of my torment.
Yeah, I know, girl. Come on. I'll be honest, my one friend who just popped in the chat here is very good at Smash Bros. And other fighting games. So I was kind of happy he was not showing up to the other ones, because I'm like, he's the one who's actually good at games, so, like, you know, I'll feel bad if he's here and I'm, like, struggling immensely. If I'm at least struggling with people who don't normally play games, I feel, like, not as bad. If I'm struggling while someone who, like, is great at fighting games is watching me, then I just feel worse. So I'm like, wow, I suck more now. Come on. See, oh well.
Were it not for fiends like you, I could be free of my torment.
Yeah, I know, dude. I'm on a GameCube controller on a Wii game from, like, 20 years ago. We're running 30 frames per second right now. The controls are not very exact. Not to mention, this is built for a Wii remote. It was not properly, like... I have to hold down 2 buttons to use the special attack.
Foul creature of darkness.
That's not even bringing into what happens if I go in a certain direction with the control stick. But anyway, so like I was saying, so, like, remember we used to have, like, times in, like, my apartment where, like, they would come over to, like, play Smash Bros. And stuff like that, and I always, like, felt awkward, because they're, you know, they're trying to do stuff for, like, tournaments, like, you know, the things that you, like, fight for money for. And I'm gonna tell stories, and that makes me play so much worse, because it means I'm not paying attention as much, but, like, I want to finish the story. So, like, they're, like, playing Smash Bros. Like, really well, like, doing, like, ledge grabs and stuff like that, edge guarding all the other, I don't know, frame clippings, whatever the things that Smash Bros. People do. And then, like, I don't know, at some point they asked I want to play. I'm like, no. I've said this before, I'm like, I will not try to do something if I feel I have no chance of winning, because then I just feel it's like it's insanity trying to get like a different result and doing it over and over again. So I'm like, no, it's fine. I'll just sit here on my phone while you guys fight and practice for your tournament. Like, it was technically speaking hanging out, but it was definitely one of those moments where I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just gonna read fanfiction on my phone while you guys go and be way more epic gamers than I could possibly ever be at this game. I just play this game so I can play as Joker and Pikachu. But then again, like, if I was playing a strategy game like Pokemon or Fire Emblem, then I would, obviously be playing at a much higher level than I think they would. So, everyone has their thing that they're really good at, and everyone has their thing that, they kind of like to do just casually, and I'm like, I play fighting games casually because I don't actually like the, super, precise landing hits in, 1/2 of a frame sort of gameplay. Like, that's something that I feel like I will just never have the level of skill or control to do. So I don't want to play them that way. But I'm like, if I can just play to be like, hey, look at me, I got a scythe. Then that's my kind of that's my kind of gameplay.
To truly change our world, I must grow stronger still.
Okay, also, is there a grab in this game? She blocks a lot. There is a grab. I don't know what it is. There's a guard break, which I'm trying to do to her. The problem is that, I need to catch her correctly. Every character has a different guard break move, but I'm trying to do it. The problem is I keep getting hit by these zombies. See, anyone who isn't aware in the chat, now he's trying to coach me on how to be a fighting game. I'm like, no, I'm resisting you. I'm going to be crappy at this game. Because the biggest difference is, for instance, if I was playing a strategy game like Fire Emblem, and I've had, a really hard, level on Conquest, I might lose because the RNG failed me. I might lose because I just wasn't aware of a reinforcement that was going to come. I might lose just because the enemy got an unlucky critical hit. So that means I've lost, but now I have strategy in order to make a better informed decisions the second time. The reason I don't care for fighting games and platformers is because that entirely depends on how fast I can move my fingers, how fast I can react, and how fast I can process information. Which, believe it or not, are not very fast. Me and my sister try and tell people all the time that even though we do all these artistic things, I crochet and do these really precise looking things, our hands shake terribly. We actually have not very good hand steadiness. My sister does. Olivia, my youngest sister, does. But I actually have very shaky hands. I'm actually very twitchy. So I actually don't have great quick reaction time. I'm not good at hitting multiple buttons at once. So this is why certain platformers pretty much any platformers honestly, but especially ones Ori and the Blind Forest, I'm not good at because I just cannot get the level of dexterity and button mashing that you need in order to be good at those games. I couldn't even get out of the tutorial area, and I played it for 3 hours because I really wanted to play that game because it was so pretty. But I'm like, nope, this is going to be one of those games I have to watch someone else play because I am not going to be able to play it myself. Because think, I could spend, 3 hours... I spent 3 hours trying to get in the tutorial area of Ori and the Blind Forest, or in 3 hours, I probably could get halfway through a Pokemon game. A strategy game or a turn-based RPG, I feel like I don't have to worry about slow reaction times. In that case, I just have to be the smarter fighter. I have to know how to use my resources correctly. I got killed by the zombies again. Love doing that. But if I'm playing a fighting game or a platformer, if I don't have fast hands, if I have a slow computer, if I have a slow game machine, if I have a janky controller, which most often we do, again, we're a large family, so our stuff gets beat up, then, I can't play those at the peak level that they're meant to be played at. So the skill level, the, skill ceiling, as you will, is just too high for me. It's also the reason I'll probably never play a Souls-like game. The skill level is just a little too high for me, initially. A game that gives me, a slow time to kind of build my skill, which is kind of like how most JRPGs go. You start very slow and then it ramps up in difficulty as you go. I can manage better because it gives me more time to learn and figure it out. Like the only action the only action game I've really thoroughly enjoyed because I really got into the combat was Astral Chain. And that's because Platinum Games really knows how to make a beat 'em up. Like, it's the thing that makes me want to go and try and play like Bayonetta and stuff like that because I'm like, I loved Astral Chain so much. It felt so good to play. And that's the only game where like having good reactions and timing and combos actually felt fun to me. Otherwise, if I'm just like, well, I'm doing things, I don't know how I'm doing them, but I'm doing things. Come on. Problem is I have to hit my guard thing without the directional thing. There we go. See, I can get her guard break, but then the zombie hits me in the back, and then I lose my combo. So I got her with my guard break, but then the zombie whacked me in the back. So that's fun. I really don't like facing this level on the higher stages because the environmental hazards are just a pain in the butt. I'd rather face on like even the lava stage at a higher level because at least that's static lava that's not going to chase me around the stage. Anyway, let's see. Well, it's like instead of reading the computer, you read people. Dude, I don't know how many times I need to say I'm autistic on stream. I can't read people. I'm literally not built for that. And that's just on the emotional state of things. That's not even mind reading people, like, on a different level than that. Like, reading people is something I am not built for. I can read strategies, and I can predict things, but, gosh, you know how much research I have to do a single session of D&D? And that's because I have to write out 1,001 possibilities of what people might do, so I feel a little less anxious. Like, reading people don't work. And you don't feel, but don't you feel like the feeling of conquering a game? Oh yeah, I can conquer a game. I can win. You know, last time I conquered a game, I did a type lock for Pokemon Sword and Shield Dark type. Now that's difficult because there's not very many Dark types. They are not very. There's not a lot of variety in Dark types. And it's a type that's not very good offensively or defensively. Try beating Pokemon Shield with that. Or I can go and beat Pokemon Conquest without grinding. Try doing that. I definitely conquered that game, and that thing sometimes took me an hour at a time to beat a level. I beat Persona 5 4 times over. My longest run being 120 hours, my shortest run being 89 hours. I've conquered games. Trust me, I've conquered games. It's just a matter of whether I think it's a worthwhile fight. If I know I'm not good at something, then why would I continue to try and build skill in something I'm not good at? It's essentially like the difference between like min-maxing or not. Like, sometimes you might do something just for the sake of the character development, but most of the time you want to try and like build skills that you're good at. Also, I have way too many hobbies. You know, if I tried everything that I could potentially be good at, I'd never get good at anything. Like, I think about, like, the fact that I never, like, learned how to do an instrument, even though, like, all the rest of them, like, my siblings are very musically gifted. I'm like, I probably could have been really good at doing an instrument or singing or something like that, because I got, like, you know... Yeah, I know, girlfriend. But, like, I go and, like... I try to write, I try to crochet, I try to draw... Like, I try to do video games, like, you gotta focus on something at some point. And I'm literally playing this game just to unlock one character at the very end because I think he's awesome. So, I'm playing a game I'm not even good at. I'm not doing this to conquer the game. I'm doing this to get the time-themed guy at the end of the game. Who is, like, super awesome. Just because I love time-themed characters. I also am just a big fan of, like, either, like, dragon characters, the Tired Immortal trope, which is, like, essentially Doctor Who for the people who are not familiar with that trope. I like anything that's, like, clock-themed. He uses a giant, like, stopwatch as a sword, essentially. That is, like, the coolest thing ever. Why has no one ever used... Like, you have time-themed weapons. People actually always combine that with a scythe. Because I guess they think, like, you know, Reaper of Time or something like that, but, like... No one ever does time-themed weapons in a way that's cool. Or they'll do something that's, like, obvious. Like, you know, like, it'll just be like, I'm a regular fighter who happens to have time-themed powers. I appreciate the fact that, like, when I get to him, Aeon has some very time-themed things that make use of what a clock is. Like, I wish I could... If I found another game that had a fighter like that, I'd probably play it.
To truly change our world, I must grow stronger still.
Let's see. What's wrong with being an all-arounder? Then you're decent in most situations, but you're not great in every situation. It does mean that you can generally pass in most situations, but like you said, don't you want to win once in a while? You cannot excel in anything if you're an all-arounder. You can be decent at everything, which is usually the most stable place to be, which is kind of how my skill set works. I am kind of an all-arounder. I'm not exceptionally great in anything besides maybe writing. But I'm decently good at art. I'm picked up crochet pretty well, but there's still stuff that I've not tried that is pretty difficult. I play video games, but I clearly have things I'm better at than others. I have select skills I'm good at, but I generally have basic skills I'm decent at. And like I was saying before, I have a little bit of osmosis knowledge of about most nerd things. Doesn't mean I'm specialized in any of them, but such is the nature of special interests. Have Final Fantasy Echo? There are a lot of Final Fantasies, and that's not even counting the spin-offs. There's like 20 of those. Which Final Fantasy are you talking about? I've not played any of them, but I have knowledge of most of them. Are you talking about the City of Final Fantasies? I own one of those. Because I got it for like $5, and I thought the designs in the front were cool. Sometimes you just gotta buy a game because you think the designs on the front are cool. Like, fortunately, games cost too much nowadays to really be able to do that, but man, I miss the days when you used to be able to go to GameStop and pick up a game because it was $10 and the cover looked cool. Okay, zombie dudes, if you can not do that, I appreciate it. Again, I keep getting boxed in with these stupid zombies.
Truly change our world. I must grow stronger still.
Also, I would assume Echo was a girl, to be honest. I believe Echo in Overwatch is a girl.
If you wish for death, here I am.
Foul creature of darkness, your end is nigh.
Yeah, I know. Okay, the zombie had exploded and knocked me out of my combo. That would have been nice, but whatever. Okay, I literally just got juggled because that zombie would not leave me alone.
Could be free of my torment.
Is Echo in like one of the main Final Fantasy games or like one of the spin-off games?
If you wish to see the power of the elements, it would be my pleasure.
Because on one hand, crystal, like clock-based things, sounds kind of cool, but on the other hand, I'm like, if it's too crystalline, then it's not really clock at that point. Clock's kind of almost has to be more like steampunk, like brass, metal, sort of like... I feel in order to really get across the clock, you really got to keep the metal aspect of it. But I'd be interesting to look it up. Maybe after I actually, like, finish this fight. Okay, can you guys stop ganging up on me? Look, I'm literally just having the zombies beat me back and forth.
Things like you, I could be free of my torment.
Alright, yeah, I know, Sypha. Like, this would be less annoying if it was just her hitting me. It's the fact that I had this issue in someone else's story mode, where, like, it's the stage hazards, not the actual, like, character that's giving me so much trouble. I'm also chewed on something weird, so my one tooth hurts, so that's great. So I'm trying not to grit my teeth as I'm fighting here. Can you stop hitting me? You stupid zombies. How did that miss? I really don't know what the range is on some of these ultimates. Well, we're getting closer, I think.
Were it not for fiends like you, I could be free of my torment.
Good thing there's not a live system in this game. That would really suck. Yeah. I think we've gone through everyone's voice lines at this point. Okay, guys, I'm trying to fight her here. You could stop that, that'd be great. The funny thing is, they're not necessarily drawn to me, they'll hurt her too. Just for some reason, they're only going to try and hit me. Okay, I was trying not to hit the box, but whatever, okay. Echo from... from League? That's not even close to Final Fantasy. Oh yeah, Echo from League I know. I'm like, Echo from... He's okay, in my opinion. That's kind of not as impressive of a clock thing because it's kind of like stretching more what counts as a clock, in my opinion. But I have seen his trailer. I did think it was pretty cool. I like the theming of it, but not quite peak time themed character in terms of what I would rank that as. Will you stop hitting me? But yeah, I do know who you're talking about. So, I mean, I don't even play League, but I know a lot of, like, osmosis knowledge. I spend too much time on YouTube. That reminds me, I need to watch Arcane at some point. People told me that that's a really good show. I have a lot of Netflix shows I need to watch at some point. I need to watch the rest of Castlevania Nocturne. I need to watch Arcane. I need to finish up My Happy Marriage because I left off on a cliffhanger that just made me feel sad. Stupid false advertising of that show. I need to finish watching Voltron at some point. I was talking about Voltron last week. Okay, I'm getting juggled between this dude and that guy. That's kind of annoying. If I was just dying from her, I wouldn't care as much. See, the problem is I keep locking onto the zombies. I'm trying to hit her. Okay, I got close that time. If those zombies hadn't kept hitting me.
I could be free of my torment.
Alright, I haven't watched Arcane or Cyberpunk, another show I heard that was... Yeah, I've heard of Cyberpunk too. I was talking about Final Fantasy because I just finished Final Fantasy X. That's the one with, the guy that looks like a volleyball player, right? Don't remember what his name is. And like the one girl who does the summons. I got Final Fantasy too. Like I got a lot of different JRPGs I want to play at some point. My difference is that like there's a difference between the ones that like people say are good and the ones that I look at and be like, "Oh, that looks like fun." Unfortunately, I am someone who misses the age of the colorful RPGs. Nowadays, everything's kind of gray. That's why I fell so in love with Dragon Quest XI. I'm like, finally! Game that has good storyline, like, lovable characters. Stop it! Stop hitting me for crying out loud. Lovable characters, and good turn-based combat. And if it's a colorful, beautiful world. Like, and mind you, I really didn't like the art style of Dragon Quest when I originally started it, but that was like, I was so... Stop hitting me, please! For crying out loud! I had her on the ropes! These stupid zombies will not stop hitting me. Take a moment to have a snack. Titus, yeah. That guy. I knew who you're talking about. I just couldn't remember his name. I kept thinking Noctis. I'm like, no, that's the guy from Final Fantasy, 11 or 14 or whatever it is. The one where they're all dressed like a boy band. Yeah, my one tooth in the back really hurts. I think I might have just, like, got something stuck with it. So the gum's kind of inflamed right now. Still hurts a few days though. I'll go see the dentist. But my one tooth really hurts right now. Shouldn't be eating Belvita, but that's kind of my comfort food, so. Take a moment to chew, and then I'll try again. I was making such good progress with this guy's story mode that I was like, oh, cool, maybe I'll actually get through Shinoa's story mode again. I'm like, nope, we're probably going to have to extend this to another stream because I still have to do Shinoa's story mode. And I think I have Dracula. And then I have Dracula left after that. And then I'll finally unlock Aeon. I've heard really good things about Final Fantasy X. I do want to play it at some time. I have such a long list of things to play. But that's the thing. I don't want to rush through things either. I want to sit and enjoy them. So right now I'm just, I'm playing through Star Rail. I've already played through the game, but now I'm getting to play it with my sister, which is, fun. Wow, we're not even going right for the combo to the face. Thanks, Sypha. Yeah, I'm gonna just stay. Well, this is stage 9, so this actually might be the final boss, honestly. This might be the last... This honestly probably is the last fight of his campaign, because we're on fight 9.
All power pales next to the forces of nature.
Yeah. Honestly, it's not the forces of nature that are bothering me, though. If I was fighting you in Dracula's castle, this wouldn't be a third as hard as it is. It's those stupid zombies. I really hate fighting this level at higher stakes, because... The stage hazards are a pain in the butt. Okay, I couldn't even tell the depth of field on that one, so I thought that attack was way farther away from me than it was. See, I can't even see myself right now. Because there's a zombie in front of the
Were it not for beings like you, I could be free of my torment.
I didn't even get hit on her that time. Anyone else got anything interesting they want to talk about?
Foul creature of darkness, your end is nigh.
Ready?
I literally have like the 10 seconds it takes for the zombies to lurch across the screen, then I get blocked in.
Foul creature of darkness, your
Yeah.
end is nigh.
Just noticing Sypha has really impressive heals on. Good for her.
All power pales next to the forces of nature.
This is fun. Rest of this guy's story mode was fun. See, this is one of those things where I'm feeling like I'm not losing because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm losing because I'm having issues with the stage. Same reason why like people don't actually use like a lot of the brawl stages in their normal state. They use them in their omega state because that way that you're not like adding in the randomness of the stage in order to like the fight. If I was not in the stage, I would not be struggling half as much with this as I am now because I've beaten her before. She's not really that hard of a fighter. Like, I have to deal with the fact that I'm constantly watching my back for the fact that I'm being attacked by zombies. She just rolled out of that. That's just a pain in the butt. See, I lose my focus for like 5 seconds, and the next thing you know, I'm just getting comboed to oblivion. Any other interesting Netflix shows I should go and watch? If anyone wants to recommend anything to give me anything else to think about besides, you know, the varying details on her outfit. And do you see how I literally died from the zombie? She didn't even hit me. I'm not even getting killed by her. I'm getting killed by the stage hazards. Who was the last character I got stuck on this? I think it was Grant versus Carmilla. Which isn't necessarily a hard fight. I just could not deal with the stage hazards. So she knocked me into both those poison piles. That was great. Thank you both for whacking me while I was down. Appreciate that.
For fiends like you, I could be free of my torment.
And I'm just kind of observing his little spider legs. Yeah. I know. And of course she jumped right before it.
All power pales
So I don't even bother trying to use my ultimate most of the time because I never know how it hits. It hits differently for each character. Some characters hit from distance, some characters hit close. I never know where I need to be in range in order to use my ultimate. The only ultimate I know reliably how to activate is Aeon's. That's because his has a really good setup, so it's not that hard. You just have to time up the combo right. No, his combos pretty well. I really hate those zombies.
all power pales next to the forces of nature.
What is this game called? This is Castlevania Judgement. It should be in the stream title. I'm pretty sure I put it in the stream title. I actually tried to put it in the stream title this time in the hope that maybe other people might come into my chat, because I honestly don't know why it's so hard for people to find my stream. So I didn't even go for a snappy title this time. I literally just put the name of the game in the title. I got it for 18 bucks on eBay purely because I love the time theme guy in this and I saw him in the opening. So, never having played any other Castlevania game ever in my life, I bought this one immediately because I love the guy on the cover. No other reason. And I played it once every couple of years just because something will remind me of vampires or gothic something or another, and I'll think about him and I'll be like, I want to see that guy again, and then I'll play through the game again. Okay, can all you zombies please just stop? I can't even see where I am right now. Yeah, I am trying, Sypha, trust me.
To truly change our world, I must grow stronger still.
Too bad the stage doesn't have a ring out. I could kill her that way. Well, that's just rude.
pales next to the forces of nature.
Well, yeah, she can't be hit when she's on the ground. I kind of gleaned that at this point. My issue isn't her. My issue is the fact these zombies keep hitting me. And most of Sypha's attacks will launch from the air anyway, so I'm not really surprised. She does a lot of her spellcasting in the air. I'm not struggling with her. I fought her like 15... Well, no. I won't exaggerate. I fought her 10 times at this point because I've been through at least... This is, I think my 10th character mode. So, you know, I didn't just randomly start picking this up. Unfortunately, the problem is that, like... I have to keep moving in a circle because these zombies keep getting... Like, once I get a good combo going on her, the zombies catch up to me, whack me, break my combo, explode into poison things, and then I die. But I do appreciate the attempt to help. I imagine this is not the most entertaining thing in the world to watch. Yeah, I know. You got church trauma. Okay, the time stop thing is just rude. Yeah, I know.
Were it not for fiends like you, I could be free of my torment.
Yeah, I've been trying to do it, but that's the problem, though. I keep running into the zombies. I'm trying. It's just... They're zombies, and the camera tends to follow her, so if I run too far, I can't see where I am. So, doing my best. I was doing great until I got pinned in by the zombies.
I must grow stronger still.
That's the thing that's frustrating. Like, you know, I could beat her if I was in a different stage. Yeah, I know. I know what the combo is. I actually, before I start every character, if you go right into the, options right here, it tells you exactly what the move list is. And I check those out whenever I play a new character. So yeah, I'm trying to do it. It just, you know, I'm playing a 30 frames per second fighting game from the Wii era with a GameCube controller, with a camera that keeps shifting behind me, and zombies. But I'm trying. I know what move I'm trying to go for. I have lacking fingers, and, you know... That's what, actually, the thing I find most frustrating about fighting games. I can know how to win. Whether I can actually do with my hands what I need to do to win is the other question. I know what I need to do. It's just a matter of whether I can achieve it or not. Which is the difference. Okay, that's... I need to get her to have a different power-up, because that's just starting to get annoying. But, like, in a strategy game, if I know how to win, I don't need to have skill of, like, hand or eye coordination in order to win. If I know the right strategy, I win. In a fighting game, in a platformer, I can know the right strategy. that doesn't mean I'm going to win, because it's all going to come down to whether I can actually, like, execute the strategy I know I need to do. Come on, come on. Also, I think I'm just starting to kill my triggers at this point. Also, to be exact, it's actually not jump A, B, it's actually jump, hold down A, and then press B. In order to execute any sort of special, you have to hold down the A button and then press the B button. So, in order to do that special, I have to hit 3 buttons consecutively at once. And if I execute the special move before my jump activates, then I start doing a different move. GameCube controllers definitely feel like, you know, very comfortable in the hand. But, yeah. This one's old. Does not react as fast as it used to. Gosh, I don't even know how old the controller is now. Like, Elite. How old is the GameCube at this point? I appreciate your attempts to aid me, though. I'm just inept when it comes to fighting games. As it's said in the title. Come on. There we go. Also, if she hits me when I'm in the middle of a jump, then my thing's not going to... It will cancel, so there's also that. Or if the zombies hit me when I'm in the middle of a jump, then it also cancels. Okay, she finally got something that wasn't that clock stop, so that's nice. I'd rather have her throwing holy water at me, because at least she has to be close in order for that to hit. It's a stupid weapon, but, you know, that's very powerful, but I'm just getting tired of her doing that clock stop one. Come on. Also, as I mentioned before, there is no means to lock on in this game, so I just have to hope I'm generally aiming in the right direction in order to hit her. And that I don't auto-lock onto one of these zombies, for instance. Or that she catches me at the end of my dodge. That's also something that can happen. Okay, have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate having your presence. I took on the story mode like a little over an hour ago, and I was making so much progress. I've been fighting this thing for the last 30 minutes. Come on, run. I like that one, our attacks hit each other, so we both died. Love running into a zombie, that's fun. You were going ham and now so you just decided to kill your run. I know. I hate it. I was doing so well. Just remember me, guys. Remember that I started out this run doing well. Knew I should have gone with Shinoa first. I mean, I guess on the plus side, you get to see this game for another stream, because I'm definitely not going to have time to do the last 2 story modes now. I didn't want to lock in on the zombies, but I did. Love that. I survived that, honestly, way longer than I expected I was going to, so I'll consider that an accomplishment. I don't want to lock onto the zombies, I want to lock onto Sypha. Thank you. I can't tell if I'm getting better or worse, to be honest. I'm gonna have calluses on my thumbs at this rate. Sorry, I was reading the chat. Trying to do the combo DJ told me about, but I'm like, I'm having about as much luck with that as I am with everything else. Just not great at fighting games, so it's kind of like, yeah, you can give me instructions, you can give me cheats or strategies, but I'm like, I'm just not good at these kind of games, so I'm like, it's only going to help me so much. It's like you were trying to teach, like, your grandma how to do a game. You're like, well, do these things, and like, well, no, she doesn't know how to do those things, so that's not going to help much, is it? I noticed the timer was getting low, so I'm like, I'm actually just gonna block, because she has less HP than me. I'm just gonna block and try and get her for a timeout. And she's not even the final one.
Try as you will, I shall not return to your side.
Oh, I understand. But know that your place as a master's son will earn you no mercy this time.
Then show me what you can do.
Ready?
Okay, that laser, I think, is like homing on me. Because it's like, keeps hitting me.
Here I come. It's over. Burn away.
Okay, I'll admit, that looked
Stand
cool.
your power, old man.
I'll admit, that looked cool.
Ready?
Over here.
I keep getting turned around because I can't tell if I'm in front or he's in front because my character's so thin. I can't tell if he's in front of me or he's behind me. Because the way the camera's, like, aimed.
Where are you looking? Was that the full extent of your power?
Ready?
Over here. Over here. Where are you looking? No escape.
I was trying to knock him out the window, and then I got knocked out the window.
Is that the full extent of your power, old man?
Ready?
Where are you looking?
I like how you can hear kind of like the sound crackling in the background because this game's so old. I don't know if anyone else can hear that, but like there's like sound crackling in the background whenever there's a huge explosion. I was getting closer on that one at least.
Is that the full extent of your power, old man?
Ready?
That's how you know the game's old, is you hear the sound crackling in the background. Then I got hit by a laser. Great. Love that. trying to figure out where I am because I'm not getting up. Okay, I got close on that one.
Is that the full extent of your power, old man?
Again, some of these later ones, it isn't necessarily even like the nature of like the character. It's this. I'm dodging around the stage half the time. Hey, sorry, I gotta go get ready for bed. Catch you next time. Yeah. Thanks for sticking around as long as you did. I can't imagine it's been very interesting for the last hour or so. So thanks for stopping by. Thanks for sticking around. Appreciate it. As soon as I'm beating, like, this story mode, I'm done for the night. Hands down. I need to beat this.
Was that the full extent of your power, old man?
No, it really wasn't. And he is old, and he's quite tired. Hey, I'll take a win by ring out. I'll take cheap wins. I'll take a win by timer and I'll take a win by ring out. I don't need a win by skill. All for you, bro. All for you.
I accept the soul key. Only 2 remain.
We're getting closer. 2 more story modes, which we will do on another night, because my hands are legitimately getting, like, my palms are actually getting sore from how tightly I've been gripping the controller. Alrighty, so next time we will go and do, we have Shinoa left. And then after that, I believe Dracula unlocks. Pretty sure Dracula unlocks after you unlock everyone else. But yeah, so, sorry for, making so much progress and then taking like an hour and a half to defeat 2 bosses. That was insane. It's not even the fights that, like, the characters were hard. It's just the stages they're on are a pain in the butt to fight on. I much prefer when I'm, like, on Dracula's castle for the last battle, because that's a way easier stage to fight on. That zombie stage is a pain in the butt. Even the beam stage is kind of annoying, but at least that one has areas where you can do ring outs, but like the zombie stage is the worst because there's nowhere to do a ring out and it has constantly moving things. So that stage is just the worst. But anyway, that wasn't bad though. I did get through 2 story modes. I had been hoping for more, but then I got so slowed down at the end there. Yeah, so I'll clearly be doing this this game for one more streaming session. Probably next Tuesday, maybe earlier than that if I find the time, but I highly doubt it. I've got family coming into this weekend. So don't expect I'll get back to this game until next Tuesday. I might do a crochet stream at some point after that, so keep an eye on the channel. Make sure you're followed to the Twitch channel. You get notifications when I'm going live. But yeah, I might do a crochet stream to maybe do some chatting. I don't imagine I'll get back to this one until next week. But then we'll have Shinoa's story, Think Dracula's story, and then hopefully we should be able to do the final story, which is Aeon's story, and he's the one I really want to play. So, all the suffering, all these, like, the eczema breakouts I'm getting on my fingers from sweating and, like, clenching too much. Like, I'm doing it all for this guy. This one game. Oh my gosh. Thanks for everyone who stopped by, who came and chatted with me. I appreciate any sort of discussions we can have. Or anyone who just likes having me as background noise. People who like watching me struggle. Also, you are allowed to be here for that. That's still being a watcher, and I appreciate that as well. So, yeah, I think it's like 11 o'clock at night now. So, way past my bedtime. And, yeah, I'm going to head to bed. So thanks for everyone for hanging out with me tonight. And have a good night, morning, whatever you are, wherever you're at. I'll see you later.